Also, another notable thing that he did for television was Arnie has been a director. He's directed 2 things. Mm-hmm. One was a remake of Christmas in Connecticut.
Okay.
This seems to have just been forgotten to time. Starred Chris Christopherson. So, Chris Christopherson in Christmas in Connecticut. Say that 5 times fast. And he also directed an episode of Tales from the Crypt, which is a show I absolutely adore. And
wait, the old one or like the more recent reboot?
No, the one from the 90s with like the Tales from the Crypt.
Okay, I mean the reboot's good. Don't get me wrong, but
I think you're. Are you thinking of Creep Show?
Oh, I'm thinking of Creep Show. I am.
Yeah,
I am because I've just been watching it a few months ago. That's what I'm thinking of.
So I know that M. Night Shyamalan was saying he's going to do a reboot of Tales.
That's why I'm getting mixed up because it was gonna reboot.
Yeah, and he said I'm not going to have the Crypt-Keeper in it. Like who?
Because you need that. Yeah.
Like the only reason I tuned in every week is like I enjoyed the stories. I wanted to see the Crypt-Keeper puppet because he was hilarious. Like that was my It's impersonation I can never do. I can still like hello kitties. It's not quite there.
You should have delivered that like Arnold. It is something I can never do. I know.
But no, there's a bit where Arnie directed an episode called The Switch, and of course at the beginning it has the Crypt-Keeper working out, going, "It's disgusting what people do to stay young." And Arnie appears behind him and goes like, "Come on, what are you doing? You want to stay with that 90-pound corpse for the rest of your death? Get pumping!" And eggs on the Crypt-Keeper. And it's like, "We're now to tell you a chilling tale that we call," and he like hugs the Crypt-Keeper like, "The Switch."
Hey.
And it's actually, you can get that whole episode on YouTube as well, where the thing stars Kelly Preston, Ian Abercrombie, actually weirdly enough, who people would remember as Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld, who would go on to play Alfred Pennyworth in the Birds of Prey TV show in the early 2000s.
Yeah, again.
I can set up the scenario, because I'm sure you guys will all know how Tales from the Crypt works in terms of the story. That it's going to be something, someone does something and it backfires on them horribly. Where it has an old rich guy, and he decides that he wants to hold on to the love of his life, played by Kelly Preston. And so he's shown by a scientist, played by the guy from Total Recall, the guy who has the bead of sweat dripping down his face that Arnie ends up shooting in the head. He's like, "Okay, I can swap your face for this young guy who's this big, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking dude called Hans comes in." And the old man's like, "Yes, give me that guy's face." And then so he's like, "Well, it's going to cost you so many million." He's like, okay, that'll go to Hans. We'll give him however much money. And then the Kelly Preston's like, "You look terrible. It's like a young guy's face in an old man body." And so he goes back to the doctor and he's like, "Okay, now I want, give me his torso. I want to swap torsos with Hans." And so he does that, and then they go out to the beach, and she sees his like little old man legs, and she's like, "That's disgusting. I don't want that either." Like, and then he goes like, "All right, finally," goes off, and then the doctor's even like, "Well, it's going to cost you $1 million per limb." And he's like, "So 2 millions for 2 limbs?" He's like, "Well, there's a third limb there you're not thinking of, sir." Kind of thing about what else you're going to have to get transplanted onto you. And so then this guy gives away all his money to get this young guy's hot bod, but gives all his money to the young guy who's now looks like an old man. And would you guess what the twist at the end of the episode is?
I think I can guess.
She wanted his money.
Yes. Yeah. That was the thing. It comes around and she's like, "Well, you're poor now, but this guy can provide for me." And Hans comes out as the old man. And there's the twist. It was that's
a little bit like, it's a little bit like saying, "Well, women only want money out of men."
Oh, it's like, in terms of gender politics, it's a horrific episode because It's just like she only wants hot young guys, but then all she wants now is money. And it's like maybe, and he's just not listening to her at all because she's constantly saying to her like, "We're just not going to work out." And he's like, "No, if I do this, you'll love me again." It's like, dude, just listen to your partner.
To be fair, there's not a lot of things that anyone should want from a man.
Oh,
I get it. Screw men.